Okay, I am back from my lovely trip with my lovely fiance. Love it a lot, and I miss it so much. I want to go back. I heard they arrested one of the Phantom Thieves. I didn't expect him to commit suicide. He's a murderer. He deserved to die. We can finally breathe easy now. He killed himself, huh? I guess we'll never know his motivation. That's right, I mean, I'm exhausted. It feels like my conscience is about to fade away.
Are you alright? Don't fall asleep until we reach our destination. Are you listening?
Are you listening?
I am.
Anyway, we need to talk about how to get out of this situation. Futaba's monitoring of Akechi's phone has confirmed it. He did indeed have an ulterior.
It's on a completely different level than just that.
Not only was he trying to frame us, but he was the true culprit behind the mental shutdowns. His offer to assist us was simply a ploy to frame the Phantom Thieves and kill him. If we go into Sis's palace as he suggests, we'll likely be met by a large ambush of police forces.
To think he would be this far gone. I know now what it means to feel a chill down my spine. Furthermore, he wishes to bring a police squad from reality into the palace.
If the 8 of us can enter at once, it's not inconceivable to think a larger group is possible. He may even be able to bring in vehicles or other special pieces of equipment.
So, this really was just a setup to shift the blame onto us.
He made us go after Okumura. Then once we triggered the change of heart, he killed him. And he told us he had seen the true culprit, but it was him the entire time!
The whole time he was working with Makoto's sister, he was really just some homicidal maniac. Come on, we gotta take that bastard Akechi down. Isn't that recording we got enough proof to do it?
No, Akechi is merely a tool. His orders come from elsewhere. The grand mastermind behind this all.
The bald guy.
An unimaginable fiend capable of arranging the murder of a suspect inside of a police station.
Of course. Only bald people can have a job like that. Everyone knows that, like Johnny Sins.
Unless we find out who that is, we will continue being targeted even if we defeat Akechi.
But what means do we have of learning his identity?
We'll have to make Akechi say it. Though once we do, that mastermind will likely eliminate us.
That's okay, we're all emo.
I think that will be the case eventually.
We have the same
regardless
thought
of
every
whether or not
day.
we learn his identity. The only reason it hasn't happened yet is because we're an easy target to blame for his crime. If he realizes that's no longer possible and abandons that plan, he may opt to kill us immediately.
Damn it. So we don't got a choice but to go with that bastard's suggestion.
But if we go into the palace like we're told, he'll get arrested, and then Akechi will kill him.
Palace.
Actually, there's something I'd like to say regarding...
Aha! We can use the palace to our advantage!
What's this all of a sudden?
There's a way to get past Akechi and get the mastermind to lay off of us, all while learning his identity. Really?
You gotta be kidding me.
If he wants to kill the guy, why not let him?
I do not like that idea.
That is, inside of a palace.
Yes, we could have him kill the cognitive version, all the while believing he killed the real one.
Okay, but what happens to me in the real world if he kills me in the cognitive world? Don't I have like a mental breakdown or something? Mental shutdown?
Yeah, that's it!
It seems that's our only option.
Wait, also, doesn't that really hurt? I imagine being shot in the head really hurts.
Listen close, everyone. I have a plan for how we can carry this operation out.
Ever since the death of their teenage leader, the Phantom Thieves have fallen silent. However, the police intend on continuing this investigation until the case is fully solved.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had to finish a few things at work. Where are they?
Waiting upstairs. Go tell them to come on down. I'm gonna fetch him.
You're her sister, correct?
Makoto told me everything. Futaba-chan, I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble this past summer.
It's ancient history now.
Man, that goddamn detective.
Look who's here.
Hey, you big bastard.
You know, I like being called big.
How've you been?
I mean, I died. Ghostly.
You're not floating.
It truly is a relief to see your face.
I bet that moron Akechi don't even know we tricked him yet.
Still, how'd you pull this off?
Magic.
Isn't this guy considered dead?
Magic. Everything can be explained with magic. That's what Vampire Diaries taught me.
You
Some
weren't told anything?
magical stuff.
I heard my sister brought him here, though.
Yeah, she came over in a taxi, dumped him off, and told me to keep him safe. It was right after they announced he had died, too. Almost gave me a heart attack.
I didn't have time to explain.
Hey, shouldn't we tell boss what really happened?
We wanted to make our enemy believe the leader of the Phantom Thieves was dead.
What?
What we did was make that enemy kill his fake in the metaverse.
Hold on a sec.
That's right. My VR avatar got killed. Not the real me, though.
Enemy? Fake? What are you talking about?
The true culprit behind all these incidents set us up. Our goal here was to determine their identity.
True culprit, I see. So you guys were going up against someone else.
It was Goro Akechi. You knew beforehand that he was the traitor, didn't you?
Akechi messed up.
Akechi himself gave us the chance to strike back. He made
He
one
talked
fatal
about
mistake.
pancakes.
Couldn't you have just said from the beginning that Akechi was the real culprit?
That wasn't something we could simply bring up. We couldn't have you suspect Akechi. Besides, neither you nor the other investigators would have believed something like that, would you?
True. Akechi was credited with the arrest of the Phantom Thieves. Not even I would think he was the culprit. In other words, you left him alone on purpose. That was a bold move.
God, I can't keep up with any of this stuff.
Don't worry, old man.
Wait, so what was this mistake, Akechi?
He slipped up in regards to Morgana's voice.
You mean a cat?
Yes, Morgana can talk.
Sorry, was that supposed to be a joke?
How does...
Oh, our apologies. That's completely true.
Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have a persona, so you can't hear him.
You surprised?
Does that mean he said something just now as...
But you don't understand him, do you? That's how it was for all of us at first, too.
When you're in the metaverse, Mona talks like a normal person. Once you hear that and your brain realizes he can actually talk, you start to understand him in reality. It's a change in cognition, most likely.
Thanks to Akechi's lame acting, we figured out something was up.
When we talked to Akechi at the school, but we already saw him drop a mega hint about...
Oh, I know a place! I want to go to that huge pink...
Oh, am I mistaken?
Pancakes.
Mona was
Of
the
course.
only one who was talking about a pancake. That meant Akechi'd already been in the metaverse by then.
And since he was lying to us about that, we assumed he had a hidden motive behind contacting us.
It seemed odd upon further thought. His reaction to my pancake comment was an honest one after.
We got lucky.
That said, we weren't so naive to overlook something like that.
Well, I did.
That's why we asked Futaba-chan to wiretap his phone. I pretended to be interested in checking the phone out, but I was actually planting my app. My heart was pounding while I was doing it, though.
Even that ace detective could never have imagined a program being installed so quickly. Futaba's quirky nature proved to be a great help.
That was just an act! After a few days of listening, this confirmed...
Then I'll guide the police into her palace and have them catch the Phantom Thieves. That would be the only way to arrest them, given their... Let me see. We could say he stole the guard's gun and commit... Public security questioning will occur on the first day.
Is this for...
Yes, the guard will be one of ours.
So they plan to get rid of that guard.
Well then, I will make the arrangements the day after the... And thus, the dangerous criminal responsible. When he does, you will become a great hero who saved Japan.
I knew he was acting strangely, but to think he was this far gone.
He's no ace detective. Akechi is the perpetrator behind the mental
On top of that, there's someone else commanding Akechi.
The bald guy.
Someone with great authority. So great that they can order an assassination in a police station. That's why we had to make a move before they did.
I see.
We baited Akechi into Sis's palace, making him
Can you elaborate on that in more detail? What exactly happened in my cognitive world?
We're sorry for using you without your permission. Your palace had all the conditions we needed.
What can...
First, we required a place inside the cognitive world that was the same as in reality.
That place is based on the real world after all. Anywhere that's not warped looks just like normal.
That's why nobody but the person who uses the nav even realizes they're in the metaverse.
Back with Kamoshida, we came in from the station without even noticing.
We had no idea.
You totally can't tell the difference if there ain't any distortions around.
We had already investigated Nijima-san's palace when Makoto brought the suggestion to...
I was seriously impressed by that suggestion. To be honest, I didn't quite understand it, but
That was a great idea.
yeah. It's good we have her heading up our op.
Makoto is normally so calm as well, but once her mind is set, she gets up.
I did have a bit of a rivalry forming with Akechi.
Don't worry, babe. I'm not gay. I'm bisexual.
But I just couldn't contain myself anymore once you became a target, sis.
Well, I'm the one who became the target. What? I'm dating you.
The reason I joined the Phantom Thieves
That
was
feels weird to say.
to heal
What the
your
hell am I
heart,
saying?
after all.
My own achievements were all that mattered to me.
Why don't you heal the bullet in my head?
I'm sorry I couldn't see that.
That goes for the both of us.
We heard from Mako-chan that you were going to do the interrogation, Nijima-san.
And regarding its location, I take...
I'm sorry. There were two things we were able to confirm while we were checking the metaverse. First, our clothes didn't change when we were down in the interrogation room. Second, the scenery and details outside of the palace.
Once we heard that from Makoto, we secretly went to check it out without Akechi knowing.
There was also one more thing we absolutely needed to make this work. A perfect cognitive replica of him.
Since he had yet to be caught, though, there obviously wouldn't be anyone in that room.
Once we saw the casino guests and police officers, we were convinced this would work. They looked no different from actual living people.
After that, we just had to work our way into the palace like usual, while keeping Akechi in the dark.
I'm surprised you were able to do that, Ryuji.
Everything went as planned, however. It was then, as a result, even though we managed to grab... Except that was all an act. We had prepared an empty briefcase beforehand, and merely this was because we knew the police would be coming for.
We made sure before the operation that the police would be waiting to ambush us. And just as expected, he totally took the bait.
Him getting captured by the police went exactly how we planned.
And I had been interrogating him with no knowledge of this. But how did you lure Akechi into this cognitive world's interrogation room?
All I needed were the coordinates.
Oh, you can do that.
Akechi disposed of the fake in the palace
That's
and left thinking he had
that's a
been
nice
victorious.
You're now in a place where you can possibly die.
It must have
Lol.
been truly hilarious for our leader who sat idly in the real world's interrogation room. Surely he was acting quite cocky by himself in that quiet chamber.
So that's why you gave me your phone. I only took it because of what you told me.
It's a shame I didn't have the opportunity to see that for myself.
I'm just glad I didn't die.
All I could do was try to handle all the messages that started
I'm
coming to me on
kinda
his phone.
dying now. I should take another nap.
So in other words,
But if
I've
I take
been
a
to
nap
the
now,
metaverse, albeit for a brief moment.
I'll probably be dead for several
In
hours.
our experience, there is little danger when someone enters their own palace for so short a...
That's the other reason we had him give it to you. We needed you to listen to Alibaba, deceive the guard, and ultimately aid in his escape. By having you head back to the interrogation room, we could return you to the real world as well.
I mean, I had to think of some way to keep you from running into Akechi mid-assassination.
Astounding. I hadn't the slightest idea that such a grand
I'm so glad he was able to persuade you. Even though we knew Akechi's plan, we were pretty worried.
Why?
Without Sis on our side, Futaba's plan and subsequent persuasion was easily our greatest gamble. We couldn't consult Sis beforehand. It was absolutely the...
Still, I'm surprised you could convince me in such a short time. Were you confident you could do it?
Don't remember drugs.
Understandable. Either way, I can't believe you went for such a risky idea.
Don't worry, I was on drugs.
If we could just tell you the true culprit's plan, realize that our leader was telling the truth, and that there was a greater evil to pursue.
As a result, we emerged victorious.
Then the reason you kept this a secret from me was so you could catch...
Yes. Plus,
This is stunning.
I've kind of figured out that you guys made Akechi kill a fit. But what did you do about the...
The police never even checked it.
Huh?
They had a coroner working to ensure his death was reported as a suicide. That coroner didn't take one look at the scene and just passed along a falsified death certificate.
What the... Really? Not exactly good at your job, huh? Wow, it's just... that's incredibly lazy. Like, really? Could at least checked on the hole in my head.
The bad guys have that much influence?
murder in a police station would be reckless otherwise. We also knew of a possible conspirator.
Thanks to Futaba-chan's messages and the guard's demeanor, I eventually came to understand. And since the higher-ups at the police knew nothing of this, they were thrown into As a result, his suicide during imprisonment was reported on the news.
And with that confusion, he was able to escape with Nijima-san's help.
I made sure nobody would check the morgue for his body, and thanks to that, nobody knows he survived.
Thinking back to the interrogation, though, I can't believe what they did to him.
Don't worry. I'm just gonna be addicted to drugs for a lifetime is all.
The callous use of violence, and even drugs, is utterly abnormal.
Well, the violence part, I do kinda like. Masochism.
If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died.
That is the life of an emo.
I'm truly glad.
It was close.
I almost became one of your assailants as well.
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated, to avoid... Even with that, I couldn't help but worry for him in my heart.
Well, I knew right away that her plan worked out.
Really?
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and
Jesus.
carefree side.
Sleepiness is getting
Can it,
sleepier.
cat?
I had to be
I thought I
patient and
could.
avoid this place until things settled down.
Go past it.
I finally feel relieved.
But I guess I
We
can't.
knew he was alive.
I'm too
but
weak.
It was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about
Just
it, my interrogation was
3
just
more
a
minutes, I
formality
guess.
for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die. They just wanted to avoid backlash. Very well. From here forward, you saved me, after all.
That's reassuring to hear.
I'll do whatever I can to help too.
Make
Just let me know.
coffee.
Let's take a break for now. Oh, and feel free to use the first floor when you guys want to get to... You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word and I'll close shop early.
Really? Aren't you like in debt or something?
Are you sure?
This guy can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs. It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town.
Let us accept his offer.
Wake up. Wake up. Dark reunion.
That sounds familiar.
It's me, Akechi.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem?
No, nothing in particular. More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutor.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
It was thanks to his efforts that I could enter the Phantom Thieves' interrogation room, too.
The SIU is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero.
All possible hindrances are now gone. There's no doubt that this election is mine.
What are we even gonna do about the election? Like, we're internet like stars. What
And
is
on to our next story. The
actually.
snap election for the House of Representatives. Discussion is swirling around potential nominees. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on...
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to Akechi and the bastard backing him.
Eyes are closing.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Shido? He is unmistakably a man of power if he has such...
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
I believe he's a politician. Remember, Ryuji? You said his speech was too loud.
For real?
It's certainly possible that Shido is the mastermind.
Do you have some kind of evidence?
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdown. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No!
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapse.
We'll make him have a change of heart. No, Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this, just based on the connections I had from my previous job. I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved, but there wasn't anything I could do. So I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He would have just killed all of you, no doubt. That's what he usually does to people who get in his way.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdown. So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated party. Boss was one of those parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves action.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister? What
God.
about the world?
The issue is
bald
simpler than
man.
that.
As a leader.
This is nothing more than yet another selfish adult trying to impose his will on the public.
We gotta expose that rotten bastard!
Yeah, we'll do it like always. Then let's check the nav.
Masayoshi Shido. Got a hit! Well, duh. It ain't a surprise he has one.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
Lying. saying stuff to make people want to vote for you, but then never actually doing it.
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
What does he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
Never answering the goddamn questions because they don't know how to answer it.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
The Diet Building? Oh.
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet Building?
Our next target's the big shot politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
Well, it's not like we have a choice. We have to.
Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
Of course.
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Yay,
for
teamwork.
revenge.
I'm sleepy.
Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that Diet Building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter.
An old fart like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
Should we start tomorrow then? We can meet at the Diet Building.
That reminds me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Oh yeah.
Miss Kawakami said he went back home for family reasons.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
So am I not allowed to go out?
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro a mere change of heart is too lenient a
We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal.
Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
We're intellectuals, you know.
That's why you needed
Well,
such a daring
except
trick
you,
as getting
Ryuji.
captured and appearing to be killed. What frightening teenagers.
But the true battle has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay on our toes.
Yeah, this ain't the time to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman. We will need to be prepared for it.
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special power. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane.
I made those troublesome opponents psychotic and erased any trace of that scandal.
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger? And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspire. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it worked.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion. He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. Well, I got that out of his shadow.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests.
True.
General public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother.
I must agree.
There's no need to be ruined along with such incompetent fools. I will lead this
Sleepiness.
country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at top.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths, which is why I made them suspect. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as and thus, the charismatic...
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from all sectors began the police were no exception. With their management in my pocket, keeping them in check was easy.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged, I thought things might become somewhat...
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told me that, I knew then that you were the better...
Their popularity was a bit beyond my expectations, but flipping it made the negative press stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since.
Just like Joe Biden.
The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the fact that they're my doing. Even the government parties have begun splitting up, and they're dissolving just as planned. The time has finally come. However, inauguration isn't my goal. That's when everything truly begins. I'll make this country rich for the sake of its selfish and ignorant masses who can only rely on others.
In other words, you're creating a powerful country that can compete with the world.
The public resonates with my idea, and for that, that is my duty as the chosen one.
Yeah. Wait. You're calling yourself the chosen one? Really? Dude, you look like you're in your late 30s.
Your assistance has been very influential in making my plans proceed smoothly when I become Prime Minister.
With this most recent case, my name has become known across... Surely my story will be passed down as a hero. I believe I'll lay low and devote myself to my study.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with...
I am thinking about...
Well,
Can I save?
how do I put
I'm
this?
extremely sleepy. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
Gee, sorry, take it easy. What's this?
Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip?
How so?
Remember how I put that? Basically, that let me see GPS info for... I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sae-Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance, and beep! Sent the signal to activate the... But there was a chance they'd just pass each other with... That's why we needed you to tell Sae-Nijima to show the... This plan still surprises me. Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the metaverse nav. It's a mysterious app after... But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally...
Damn right. Oh my god, I'm so sleepy.
I'll just add this.
Damn it, okay, maybe I should have streamed.
Let's do it.
Streaming after an almost 30-hour flight is not good. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm getting so sleepy.